Hey, kids, we're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the podcast that explores the American animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 12 and beyond. Why do we do it like that? Well, an entity known as the Wheel of Random has forced us to watch the show in such a manner, and we already watched season 11. I say we because I'm one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Craig.
Hey, Craig, how's it going this week?
It's going well. How are you doing, Mr. Birthday Boy?
Ah, shucks, I'm feeling old.
Well, Steve, you just turned 28. You are getting very old.
You know, it's true. I am getting older, and it's making it harder for me to connect with what the kids are into these days. Not that I'd want to. But as we talked about last week, the Simpsons are still jamming down with the youth, as they say.
Weird way to say that.
Because they're connected with Fortnite. They're having a season of Fortnite.
That's right.
And I hear that you have tried your hand at the big promotion. How did it go?
Who told you?
Nobody. It certainly wasn't Mr. Frink. I mean, Professor F.
We both discussed last week that we'd probably check out the Fortnite, and I did. And I gotta say, it's taking up a lot of gigabytes on my Xbox. So downloaded it. I think it's like 77 gigabytes, and I was just hoping you could just stream it online, but apparently you can't on Xbox. I mean. But so I log in and, I don't know what to do. Like, there's just like a character. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to mess around with my costume. I don't think you really change much because you have to collect costumes and skins, right? I know it's like if you want the Simpsons stuff, did you have to like pay for that? Like if I wanted to have Homer skin?
I guess so. I guess you could spend like, I don't know, $8 to see how it works and then get confused and not do it. But yeah, that's one theory.
Wait, why would you pay for it, Steve? It's free.
But not for the Simpsons stuff. And
what do you mean? I downloaded it. It's like I got to play on Springfield. I have to pay a dime.
Good for you.
Oh, look into this for a second. In a second, but yeah. So I log in and I fly to Springfield. So is this fun? Just like walk around. So the first thing I do, because so I guess when you're in the game, you parachute down from Otto's bus blimp, and so you see Springfield, you see the town, and I'm trying to find the Simpsons household because I just want to walk around and see the layout of the house. And I get there, I'm like, yeah, I made it, but I'm in the backyard, and I go and I didn't realize I was in Flanders' house.
Oh.
So then I was like killing Flanders, and that was fun. And then I killed some like actual people, and then I went back to the video game, and then I went over to the Simpsons house, and I looked around, and there's a lot of Easter eggs, and it's fun to see the environment. And I just want like I don't know if there's a way like a sandbox version where I'm just in the world and there's like not people trying to attack me. I just want to walk around Springfield. I don't know if I can do that, but I played it once, and I'll let you know that because it's a battle royale. I got second only because some sort of like electrical storm killed me, and so that killed me. And then whoever got first won by default. The two greatest words in the English language, default.
Yes,
but I didn't find it that particularly difficult to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to the video game.
Of course.
So yeah, it was like, okay, this is cool. I didn't continue. 10 minutes maybe I spent on it. How about you?
Yeah, so I played it on my Switch, which is my platform that I use the most. And after several minutes of it loading, and then several more minutes of loading, because it does stream on the Switch, which is worse because it takes forever. Once I got connected, I wanted to play with all the Simpsons things that I could, and so it's like, oh, I see that you can buy skins, so I bought skins. So it was like $8. I figured, hey, the game's free, why not? I couldn't figure out how to install them or like use them, so I just played as some character, the lady character from the short from last week that we watched. I walked around town. I thought it was like kind of neat, and then I killed a person. Then I went back to playing. No, I killed somebody on the game, and then I got shot, and I was like, I'm good. And then I went on about my life. I get it. Not for me, but I think it's probably a fine game.
Now we can play together because I turned on like a Twitch stream and a couple people were playing. And so, you could build up teams and alliances, but it's not interesting because we've talked about it before. Like we like video games with a story and a little nuance, I guess, to it. It also seems weird. Like I feel like I'm Marge, like original, like first 3 seasons Marge when I'm playing it. I'm like, this seems inappropriate for like Marge with like a rifle killing some kid.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It is a little like personal too, because if you're like shooting zombies or even like, whatever video game you're playing that has a narrative, you're killing narrative bad guys. But here you're just like shooting school students and, that's what real life is for.
I know, like, again, I'm not like anti, gun type of guy or mega pro gun guy. I'm just Second Amendment, I understand, but again, not a political podcast. But like, if kids are playing this and like there's like getting these cool like literal like guns, like shotguns and rifles, and it's them just like killing people with, like, I get to like where like moms of our youth, like, these video games are full of violence. I don't know. You're right. It's just, like, we have enough like real school shooting violence in this country, and this love of guns. This video game is just like pro gun. Like it's just like, I don't know, not for me.
Yeah. There was though on Disney Plus an addition to the narrative of the Fortnite on there, basically a second commercial. And so in that we get to see Professor Frink, who is highlighted in this week's episode, talking to Homer, and he even has his handy dandy auto dialer, which is from one of the best episodes that we can't talk about.
Yeah, not as exposition as the first episode was, because it is Frink and Homer's showing Frink his remote with the gem in it, and he turns a cloud into a donut, and so he's able to like start turning things into food, and it starts falling from the sky. There was a good Krusty joke where he was mad because Homer hit him with a pie, and that's his thing, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is like leading up to like, this is because each week there's something new with this Fortnite map. So I'm assuming if we went on now, would pizzas and donuts start falling from the sky?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Are you gonna, since you spent the $8, would you go back on and just check out one more time, or are you just burn that $8 and you'll never see it again?
Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably like play around with it for another 15-20 minutes and then be annoyed, and then felt good.
I mean, it would be nice. I don't know. Does it cross-platform? Since you said Switch, I have the Xbox. Would we be able to play? Do you know if it's a cross-platform?
I don't know for sure, but I think if anything it should be Switch. I mean, it should be Fortnite. Like,
well, yeah, we have the Switch too, so I could just download it on the Switch as well, and then know for sure that we could probably hook up.
I mean, we can always, yeah.
Yeah. But Steve, this episode is our episode. I mean,
yes,
is released for our Patreons on your birthday. So happy birthday!
Thank you.
And since this little segment is for our Patreon listeners, even though the normal listeners, normal's the wrong word,
crappy,
who are like, they have to go to a coffee shop every day and spend $8 on that coffee, when just for $5 a month, they could say one less coffee a day. They could get our Patreon and get a bonus episode. And they are a lot of fun to listen to and to record.
Yes.
Last week, we talked about a Al Jean, Mike Reese sitcom called Teen Angel. You can watch on YouTube, and wow, that was something. But this week, Steve, since it is your birthday, I thought we only get to do this once a year.
That's right.
Steve, happy birthday. This is my gift to you. You get to choose the Patreon for this Friday because it is your birthday.
Oh boy. Well, this is very exciting, and I appreciate this. We'll call this, we'll see you in March, and we'll do the same for you. But Craig, I thought that I would give a gift to you as well, because I actually have 3 choices that I thought we could do. But obviously we're not going to do 3 episodes because I don't have that kind of time. But I'm going to let you, Craig, make a choice between A, B, or C, and whichever one you pick is the one that we'll do.
All right. Well, when you're taking a standardized test, they always say choose C if you don't know the answer. And I'm going to stick with that because C is the first letter of my name. So I'm going with C.
Alrighty. So this week we are watching G.I. Joe, the motion picture, which is on Amazon Prime.
All right. Do we? Yeah, there's definitely Simpsons connection with that, right?
Yeah, we'll get there. Snake Jailbird could have been a great member of Cobra Commander, for sure.
Steve, I'll let you know, since it's your birthday, I've never seen the movie.
Great. I'm really excited to talk about this. It's a thing that I haven't seen in a few years, but I think it's better than it needs to be, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
All right. I promise I will watch it and take copious amounts of drugs and or notes.
Either one would work, or both.
All right.
Do you have any curiosity as to what the other two choices were?
I'm wondering if we don't say that, or we keep that for another future possibility. I think that I don't think we need to know, Steve.
Alrighty, all right. Well then, let's just carry on forward and get to this week's episode, Bart and Frink, in which when Bart becomes Professor Frink's assistant, the Simpsons are thrown into a world of tech billionaires, determined to live forever, with the future of the internet at stake.
Steak.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about Bart and Frink, the 6th episode of the 37th season. It is episode 796 in the show's run. It originally aired on November 9th, 2025. Your nerd code is 36ABF16. It was written by Brian Kelley, directed by Rob Oliver, and your showrunners are Matt Selman and Brian Kelley.
I miss the days where we could say and Al Jean, but I don't think we'll see that in the foreseeable future.
I don't think so.
Well, old episodes, yes, but not new ones. Brian Kelley, he's an American television writer, Steve. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He has written for funny things like Conan and O'Brien, Saturday Night Live, News Radio, The Clerks cartoon, Futurama, and he's written for some things that aren't that funny, probably, like Joey or The Michael Richards Show.
Well, yes.
But he has written 22 episodes of The Simpsons, and this is the 14th that we're going to review. We still have yet to review Treehouse of Horror 13.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a segment called The Fright to the Creep and Scare Harms. We probably won't get to that until next Halloween, right? We don't want to talk about scary stuff in this time of the cycle of the Earth.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's scary nowadays, so it's all good.
And then A Star is Born. We haven't reviewed that one yet, but we have reviewed Magical History Tour, Lisa the Drama Queen, Postcards from the Wedge, Moms I Like to Forget, Treehouse of Horror 23, Homer Goes to Prep School. That's not the title of Treehouse of Horror 23, Steve. It was just continue. I forgot about a comma. Brick Like Me, The Simpsons, Lisa Gets the Blues, Waggles, The Longest Marge, Very Hungry Caterpillars, Clan of a Cave Mom from season 35, which was probably one of our favorite episodes from that season. And now Bart and Frink. There's we always talked about Brian Kelley as the gimmicky.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Brick Like Me is the Lego one. The Simpsons is just an episode that takes place in the medieval times. This one, I don't consider it gimmicky. Do you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. We like a lot of this fellow's work, so let's just get on with the episode. How about that? Last week, we complained because we didn't get a title of The Simpsons. It just went straight to that Fortnite couch gag. But we got the title, The Simpsons, but no couch gag.
We can't win. Yeah, it's just The Simpsons, followed by the TV with Matt Groening's name on it. No couch gag, no chalkboard gag.
Of course, Matt gets all the credit, when really it should have been Portland, Oregon. Without all those names and characters, we wouldn't have The Simpsons.
That's really true.
And Matt's dad, Homer, his cum. Really, it should be developed by Matt Groening's dad's cum.
I agree. I think all shows should be named after the creator's father's cum.
Okay, new t-shirt idea. We're going to have The Simpsons TV, and it says created by Matt Groening's dad's cum.
I also like the idea we do this to other shows, so like Law & Order, SVU, brought to you by Dick Wolf's dad's cum. Dun dun. Which is what he says when he came. Dun dun.
He's a two-pump chump?
Yeah.
With a name like Dick Wolf, I mean, you got to be good in the sack.
You better be.
My TV name would be Limp Cub. I don't know. Anyway, Steve, should we just begin the episode?
All right, well, our episode begins, as it always does, at Fun for Our Lives game store. Bart and Lisa run into the game store, which is conveniently located next to Cavity Falls Children's Dentistry, chanting, games, 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 games. But there's a moment of shock when they see nerds in the board game store. The nerds are shocked to see them, referring to them as normals, two eyes, and incasts, as opposed to outcasts, of course. Hey, yeah. But as Lisa explains to Bart, modern board games aren't about fun. They're about economics and math. You know, fun.
It's a very good line from Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine, like, game stores to kids. Like, oh boy, game store. I think it's just going to be Xbox and PS5 and Switch games. But no, board games. We have a pretty fun board game store here in Portland.
Yes, Guardian Games.
And it's literally just like this animated sequence.
It is. Now, you are a board game fan, right?
We have so many, and we barely play them. Like, we need to organize, like, a game night. Because it's like we have so many games that are, like, 3 or more players, and our child is a little too young to learn how to play some of these games. If you
Right.
all of them. And I think you and I tried the game night, like, once, like, many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to play more, but again, it's just like, TV gets in the way.
I totally understand that. We went through a board game phase just before the pandemic, coincidentally playing the board game Pandemic. And we visit Guardian Games often to try and find new games. But it's usually just my wife and I because we don't have a kid or friends. And it's a lot of instruction reading before you can get to the board game, especially like these modern complex games that are a lot of fun, but they take like 4 hours to play, 2 hours to learn. And it's a lot to ask. So we just would watch TV as well.
Yeah, I think that's the problem is the learning of the game. We've even gone to the point where we met some people for a game night and are like, just watch this YouTube video first before, so you don't come. Because one time we went over there, like they had to explain for like 2 hours the game. Not because we're dumb.
No.
I mean, I'm dumb.
Sure,
but
yeah.
like, because a lot of these games, like you said, just take up so much learning. And, at the point where you're just like, God, let's just play a simple, like, card game. Not like with, 52 deck cards, but like a card game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a game that was just like, would set up and it'd take me hours and hours. And the instructions were just long and complex. And the gameplay was over in 2 seconds. That's right. That complex game was Mousetrap.
I mean, that is where you learn about disappointment, like, as a kid. And it's like a metaphor for sex, too, because you have all that build-up, and then it's just, whatever, the man jumps in the tub, finds the man of the boat, and then nothing.
Well, you need to stop having sex with mice.
How else am I going to do my science experiments?
Oh, don't fuck me, Steve. I fuck you. Oh.
That's very true, Mickey, I know.
Hey, Steve, let's look for some signs around fun for your lives. Game store include, please leash your beholder. We don't serve androids here. Dice, 20-side, maximum, strictly enforced. And on the bathroom door, ladies use restaurant bathroom next door.
That's very funny. And also there are some other games on the shelves, including Accounting of the Hanseatic League, which of course everyone knows was Northern Germany, and the box cover features Salzplektrekren Lübeck.
Steve, you don't need to dumb it down for the audience. They knew that already.
Oh, of course, yes.
Other games include Insurance,
Mid-level Tax Assessor,
1,000 pages of rules,
Buy and Hold, a game of cautious stock investing,
Drudgery, the game,
Terraforming the Sun,
The Gentrifiers of Catan.
This game box is huge.
This one's even bigger.
All right, what are you playing?
Well, just like our conversation, I think we've already played 1,000 pages of rules, so I'm throwing that out.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play the Terraforming the Sun because I heard it's hot.
That's hot real estate.
How about you?
I think I will play Gentrifiers of Catan because I live in Portland, so I know all about gentrification.
I have a Star Trek Catan that we can play sometime if you'd like.
That does sound fun.
Well, Martin Prince is so enthralled with his role-playing game that he's been ignoring his bodily functions. Luckily, he sees his school-time chum, Bart, and asks him to fill in.
Bartholomew, a little help, please. We've been epic fantasy role-playing for 6 hours. If you'll sit in for me, I need to fill the porcelain chalice.
Only you could make peeing sound lame. How do I play this stupid game?
You must role-play as my beloved character, Dandelion Tenderjape, the bardic imp of the Fey Realm.
Hi.
No pleasantries at table. The party enters a cavern where, atop a glittering treasure mound, sleeps the dragon Balthelmagog.
Though I, Pythagoras the Bold, have vanquished every fire drake and lava worm in the caverns of hotness, this foe is far beyond any of you. Retreat is what we should do.
I attack!
You idiot! You're gonna get us all killed!
So long as I get Martin's guy killed.
I like how Bart thinks peeing is cool.
Uh-huh.
So we've talked about like D&D and how like we've wanted to put our toes in the water. And this is exactly how I would be as Bart. I would just like, attack. And people are like, you fucking idiot. You can't attack. You're going to die. I don't care. You never know. This is like gambling, right? Roll the dice and see what happens.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, as I think we talked about, I have done a little bit of D&D during my improv days because cool people hang out with cool people. So improvisers do play a fair amount of D&D. It's yeah.
Look, I think that's a good thing because D&D is all about improv too. So
exactly,
it hones your skills.
And it is a lot of fun, especially if you're playing with other improvisers, because you're all kind of on the same page in a way. But again, like when it comes to rules, like I was so afraid of doing the wrong thing that I was always paranoid. But yeah, I think that it is fun to just jump in and kind of do this craziest shit.
So don't be a Steve, be a Spike Lee and do the right thing.
Exactly. But don't throw garbage cans at pizza places. We got to eat pizza.
If Black Panther likes pizza, we like pizza.
That's right. So, as Dungeon Master Comic Book Guy describes, the party enters combat, and Martin's character, a defenseless loot player, nears the dragon Balthelmagog, who responds with a breath of fire. So, with a roll of several 20-sided dice, it is revealed that Dandelion took 28 points of damage from the fire. Fire damage, if you will.
The character Martin playing as a lootist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been like kind of a reference to the Chris Pine character from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie. I think like Hugh, not Jackman, Hugh Grant, like he plays the bad guy in the movie. He's really good in it. Like it's a fun cast. It's a really fun movie, and I highly recommend it.
All right.
I might have to watch it one of these days. So Bart laughs at the violence, but the Dungeon Master warns that a dandelion will surely perish without the help of his teammates. And all of Martin's friends cower in fear, except one, the level 25 wizard, Pythagoras the Bold, as played by Professor Frink, who's played by Hank Azaria. So he vows to leave no companion behind, and Frink fully dives into his avatar, losing his like Jerry Lewis-like mannerisms, and replace him with a brave and bold voice of a wizened sage.
Ooh. So nerds and dorks from other tables see that a dragon is about to be fought, and they freak out with glee. Using all that the deck has to offer, Frink plays his Ice Blast, followed by a Lightning Bolt, and then Sleep Apnea. The dragon, suffering from the attacks and, the poor rest, lays Egg of Death in a final desperate move. Frink is confident that he can handle a meager Death Egg with the help of his impenetrable shield. And so Frink rolls for damage, stunned at results.
One.
Great Sheldon's ghost. It can't be. It's unfrinkable.
The lethal egg explosion pierces the wizard's defenses, and Pythagoras the Bold falls. He's dead.
I've been with Pythagoras for 20 years. He's my oldest friend.
Yoink.
Bart, you got Frank's character killed. You made a grown-up cry.
Don't tell Mom about this, okay?
Oh, Bart, how could you even think I wouldn't?
You.
Hello, Professor.
Bart's sister told me he did something bad to you, but I don't understand what it was, despite repeated explanations.
I kind of dig, like, Lisa's character arc in this episode.
Mhm.
Like, I like how she's like, of course I'm going to tell Mom. And if I go back to the the D&D, like, I know, like, in this, they like have cards, like trading card type of characters. And I know that's not a thing. I know there's card games where you have characters. It's almost like they're combining, like, maybe Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
and D&D. I kind of like how that works, because I think when you play D&D, you have to create a character and a character sheet, right? And that character, like, it's so weird to me because it grows and gains power over time. But like, how do you, like, not just cheat and say, oh yeah, I've always had these powers?
You totally could, and it is a lot of back and forth where, like, the dungeon master has to, like, keep track of what you're doing, and you have to keep track of what you're doing and make sure they all jibe. And it would just be easier if you had, like, a card and, like, a preordained character that you could grow or build upon. 'Cause, yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of graph paper that you need.
Yeah, because, like, Frink, like, lost his character, so he's like, no, he can never bring that character back.
Right.
I bet there is probably in D&D, like, again, I'm ignorant towards that kind of thing, but I'm assuming maybe there's, like, spells and things, like maybe your teammates can, like, try to resurrect your dead corpse, or do you have to, like, start fresh and make a whole new character?
Yes, I think that depends on, like, who you're playing with. Like, you could probably even, like, bring back your character if people were cool about it. I think it's just kind of house rules, however you want to play it. Although if there are other D&D people who are, like, more stringent than that, then please speak up, because I'm not an expert, so.
And does D&D have to be Dungeons and Dragons, or can you do, like, a modern thing of, like, my name's Bill, I work at a coffee shop?
100%. The books are all based on, like, pre-written lore of, like, that is, like, rich with history and whatever, but you could certainly, like, either play off of that or, you know, just make up your own thing. Like, I think there are also, like, space versions of D&D and cowboy versions of D&D, and I don't see why you couldn't have, like, a coffee shop owning sex machine as, you know, your D&D character who is just kind of awesome, even though he hosts an unpopular Simpsons podcast.
Yeah, okay, so, like, other licensed properties, like Star Wars or something like that, is that part of, like, that world? Like, other properties, like Star Wars or The Simpsons, like, could they have, like, D&D?
I think they might, actually. I know they have, like, more of a card-based game, but I'm sure they probably have, like, a similar thing to Dungeons & Dragons, too.
All right. Well, let's go back to Marge and her trying to figure out what's going on with Bart and Frink, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Under Marge's instruction, Bart apologizes for pulling a Leroy Jenkins and getting Pythagoras permadeath. This may have all gone over Marge's head, but she did bring some caramel clumpies as a peace offering. Yeah, feeling defeated by a still hospital Frink, he invites Marge and Bart in, and Bart looks around and finds the place to be awesome. No, he's certainly been to Frink's house multiple times, if I could recall.
Yeah, I mean, there was, like, one of the future episodes where, like, it was based in Frink's lab. Anyway, Frink takes solace that his heroic friend / RPG avatar died bravely in battle, which is how he would have preferred to die. Bart is surprised to find that the professor isn't upset, but as Frink tells him, powerful emotion responses are merely a spike in brain chemicals. Marge shares her condolences, but wonders just how old the professor actually is.
So meanwhile, Bart explores the lab, unknowingly getting shocked by some slime. Then Frink asks if the slime offered motivation for the attack like it was designed to. So the science whiz then tells Marge that his character had all the bravery that he lacked in real life. And Bart continues to find new and exciting inventions, such as a jetpack and a shrink ray, but it only works on watermelons. And it does so excellently, but, like, it seems like it would kind of hurt to chew when he bites on that watermelon.
Yeah, like, you gotta break through the rind. And also, like, I've had dehydrated watermelon, and it's really hard to chew because you take all the water out, and what do you have left? Nothing.
I also like in that animation when Bart has the little watermelons and, like, one just drops and it falls and just stays next to Marge's foot. Like, just that little flourish of animation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, really good.
It's a really nice touch. Yeah, I agree. So Marge has tried to channel Bart's enthusiasms in a more positive direction and thinks that science could be just a place for his unique energy and imagination. She asks Frink if Bart could be his lab assistant, so the professor asks the ever-rambunctious Bart about the position, leading Bart to wonder if he'll get to tangle with horses he couldn't possibly understand, leading him to say, "My God, what have I done?" And Frink assures him that that'll occur at least once a day, so Bart is in.
So, as we parody Oingo Boingo's weird science entitled Weird Friendship Plays, Bart gets to work, replacing a light bulb with the assistance of a spinning ladder. It's a very fun scene. He then uses a self-replicating 3D printer to make another 3D printer, which makes another one, and so on and so forth, until the lab is overrun with printers that Bart and Frink have to bring down with baseball bats. Next, Bart takes to a microscope to organize electrons to spell out El Barto and El Frinko.
I really like the idea of a 3D printer printing out 3D printers. It's like the old Mitch Hedberg joke about a vending machine that dispensed vending machines.
I mean, it'd certainly be useful for our business.
Indeed. You'd never have to buy stuff because you just make more stuff.
Not our business, Steve and I's, but my business with the missus. Okay, yeah, all right.
Well, after putting out a fire, Frink tells Bart that in college he learned that noble gases don't burn, and so he asks him not to bring up these fires. Bart is sure that he won't pursue higher education, but Frink wonders why. This leads to an emotional argument that is interrupted by a mysterious cube left on Frink's doorstep.
Dude, I'm never going to college. I'm dumb.
Hey, well, that is the worst thing you can call yourself. You take that back.
What? I am dumb. It's fine. Dumb guys can do lots of cool stuff. It's always a dumb guy who wins the lottery.
You're not dumb.
Everybody knows I am.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't.
Am too.
Or not.
Am too.
Or not.
Am too.
Or not. I would not be friends with you if you were the D word.
What is it?
So when Bart said, "What is it?" what did you say?
I said it's an invitation.
Professor Frink's college reunion is at some billionaire's private compound, but it'll only go if I go with him.
Bart would be quite helpful. Social interaction can be, tricky for me.
Whoa, Mr. Personality?
Well, the invitation does say family's welcome, and as an impossibly literal person, I assume that means that I can bring all of you.
One of our favorite jokes, I think, is always the setup for the joke, and then, like, the next scene is them asking about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Where they have the box there, and then I was like, so what did you say when Bart? That is really good.
Yeah, it's really nice. I love that kind of transition. It's very smooth.
Everyone, like, trying to console Frink, like, oh, no, you're cool.
Yeah, you're good at interaction with people. I don't know why people always do that with me, too. It's weird.
Yeah, think about it. So Homer considers the idea of a rich guy's super party. He imagines the food, the booze, and then his thoughts kind of just peter out. Lisa wonders where this reunion is taking place, and Frink responds that billionaires are so reclusive, they'll have to sign an NDA in order to find out. After meeting with their lawyer, Homer proudly declares that the Simpsons are going to... So when I heard the censor there, I assumed they're probably talking about Epstein Island, right?
Yeah, I mean, that would just make sense. Rich billionaires.
Yeah.
After a smooth water landing on a private jet, Professor Frink and unrelated family are welcomed to the... Marge is impressed with the incredible mansion, remarking that it's like where a realtor would live, and she should know because she was one briefly. Their welcoming host explains that that building that wowed Marge is simply used for Christmas ornament storage, and behind that next rise of trees over there is the actual mansion, which is even grander and more impressive. So once inside, Frink meets with his college friend, along with several other rich tech bro assholes.
John, welcome to my humble abode. Oh, well, not exactly humble. And I only abode here 4 days a year, and the actual owner is an offshore trust controlled by nominee directors. But,
Peter, how long's it been? 9.56 times 10 to the third days? Oh, that was witty and delivered rather calmly.
This place is sweet. I wouldn't mind being hunted for sport here.
I saw this view on a screensaver, and I just had to have it. The indigenous people who lived here were none too happy.
What happened to them?
Have you ever heard of eminent domain? Because the tribal elders sure hadn't.
Oh! These are the worst people in the world.
Don't think of them as people. Think of them as big piles of money with nothing better to do than fund a smart little girl's education.
You want me to try to squeeze a scholarship out of a tech bro? Don't I have a college fund?
We spent that on long-term parking for this trip.
Steve, that voice that you hear is Peter, none other than Dennis Reynolds himself from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's Glenn Howerton. Woo! Glenn Howerton, besides, of course, the longest-running live-action sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
It's Always Sunny, yeah. Kindred spirits with The Simpsons, right, for being longest action and cartoon.
It's true.
Even though they do, 6 episodes a year. But, hey, 6 more than we do.
That's right.
Don't forget, he starred on I think it was a fairly popular-ish sitcom, but didn't last too long, AP Bio. I never saw it. Did you ever watch that?
I watched one episode. I didn't get into it, but it's probably more my fault than their fault.
Yeah. And then I guess it was is it considered I can't think of the damn word.
Sequel
Series to that 70s show, that 80s show? I don't think there was any connections, was there?
There was like staff connections, but not. I don't know if there's any like connective tissue with the characters.
Yeah, it only lasted a couple episodes because it was god awful. Yeah, I like Glenn Howerton. He's a Juilliard graduate, Steve.
Ooh la la.
He's kind of talked about how it's like struggles to like get jobs because they think he actually is Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny.
Which is a testament to how good he is.
Yeah, like that character is, they're all heinous characters.
Mm-hmm.
But him in particular, he's a certified like lunatic, that character. He's a horrible person. Glenn Howerton, not a horrible person.
Right.
I feel like we were cheated in the Marvel Universe. Because, he was, I think, second in line or an option to play a Star-Lord for the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it went to Chris Pratt. And the way the internet likes Chris Pratt these days, I think been more cool to see a Glenn Howerton. I think he would have done that role pretty good.
I think that would have been a lot of fun, and I think it would have been like really good for Glenn to like allow him to play a different kind of character. But you got to think about Chris Pratt. Like, the man needs to eat. He's not getting a lot of work. How's he going to afford his lasagna or whatever Mario eats?
Mario eats mushrooms and Peach.
And Luigi sometimes.
Well, Luigi eats the rich, you know what I mean?
Hey, yeah. Speaking of eating the rich, I really like Homer and Lisa's dynamic in this too. Because Homer's like, hey, yeah, these guys all suck, but you can milk them out of money. Also, I really like their vacation wear. Homer in the orange shirt, like we talked last week about back in day clothes. And so this is fun to see them wearing different things because they're with rich assholes.
Because when you're with a rich asshole, you got to wear purple shorts and a light blue polo, like Bart.
Exactly. So does Milhouse think that Bart is a rich asshole?
I mean, in today's standard, their house and everything they have, yeah, I think they're pretty rich.
That's true. That's a good point.
You're right about Lisa, though. I just love how she's like laughing with Peter and just like going, I hate these guys. It's great.
So Peter shows off some of the various prizes he's collected over the years, such as a Stormtrooper outfit, Gandalf's robe and hat, and a Komodo dragon, which he refers to as nature's perfect tongue-flicking machine, though Catherine Zeta-Jones might argue. She next presents a fossil in the shape of a circle with a wedge cutout that inspired a very famous video game. Now, I know that the joke is that it's Pac-Man, but I feel like they could have done like a bonus joke and been like, yep, that's Mario, or that's Donkey Kong or something.
Yeah, I like that. I also like how it was based off of a real creature. Can I admit I'm kind of dumb real quick?
Go for it.
I didn't notice, spoilers, that the Gandalf robe and the Komodo dragon were Chekhov's gun in this episode until the end. I'm like, God, I'm dumb. Why didn't I see that?
No, I mean, I think that's a testament to the writing. Like,
yeah,
the dragon, I think, is especially masterfully done because it's a Komodo dragon, so you don't think about it.
But you think of like rich assholes probably would have like a Komodo dragon, and putting like the Stormtrooper and the Gandalf thing. It's just like, oh, he just collects movie props.
Yeah.
As Peter gives Frink the old Grand Tour, the other members of the reunion pity the professor, saying that Peter took everything from him. And Bart asks for details, learning that during Frink's time at Silicon Valley Tech, during the internet tech boom, Frink and his fellow undergrads used the Wozniak startup Garageplex to create the modern tech economy that we're all being strangled by today. I love the image of the Wozniak startup Garageplex because there's, as people know, like Steve Jobs and Wozniak created, Apple in the garage, and Bill Gates created in the garage. So everyone's doing the garage.
Yeah, it's funny. So Frink's college alum goes on to say that he was a brilliant and humble scientist who never concerned himself with making money. He just invents something, such as his cold fusion Frinktronic, and move on to the next idea. As he did that, the Department of Energy took his cold fusion device for their own purposes.
So after long sessions of their favorite tabletop RPG, one of Frink's fellow geniuses' friends has to attend her Applied Email 202 class. And Frink, sitting in front of the Sadgasm poster, I love that
Great
image.
touch.
I think it's like, fuck you, that 90s fans, haters.
Mm-hmm.
Or that 90s show. But also, that 90s show reference to that 70s show, that 80s show.
Whoa.
So realizing just how long they've been playing, asks his latest invention, the time.
My goodness, we've been playing that long. Susan, what time is it?
The current time is 57 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, Susan is the voice-activated assistant I created, but she never quite does what you want her to do.
Would you like to hear music by a band you hate?
John, you just leapfrogged current technology by light years.
Turning off lights for 1 year.
Oh, she's worse than nothing.
Now, if Susan is stressing you out, I could toss it in the dumpster on the way to my ethics and business seminar.
You're always looking out for me. Always. Trusted friend.
To this day, whenever a Siri or an Alexa almost understands what you want, that's John's technology. But it was Peter who got rich off it.
What kind of billionaire chooses money over friendship? Siri, what's a good revenge idea?
Revenge is a dish best served cold. Here's some ice cream near you.
Oh, she's worse than nothing.
Have you updated the latest Alexa?
No.
She talks a lot more friendly now. She has intonation and tone.
Cool.
And I think I'm in love, Steve.
Wow.
Yeah. She really gets me, you know?
You and her really are a pair.
As if only she had the voice of Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Scarlett Johansson, sort of, and Alexa, I was watching this on Hulu, as one does, and I received multiple commercials for Amazon's Alexa with that new and improved thing, featuring celebrities like Benedict Cumberbatch and Pete Davidson, who, of course, owns a ferry with Mr. Johansson himself, Colin Jost.
Yeah, that's the reason why I updated the Alexa, because Pete Davidson told me to. He also told me to, do a comedy show in Saudi Arabia if I want to. And, piss on his dad's grave for doing it.
Of course, yes, because why wouldn't you? You just have so much goodwill that you can just spend wherever you want, like in Riyadh. I also, speaking of poor ethics, I like the fact that Peter was headed to an ethics class when he stole Susan. It's really funny. So, back at the party, Homer asked one of his caterers how many of their featured drinks it would take for him to get uncomfortably intoxicated, and then asked for twice that amount. Another guest of the party, voiced by the always delightful Daniel Pudi of Community, Mystic Quest, and the DuckTales reboot fame, he was Huey, informs Homer that no alcohol will be consumed over the weekend, as it is deadly poison. And Homer drunkenly replies that it's poison o'clock somewhere.
Well, it's kind of funny that Danny Pudi on Mythic Quest, created by Rob McElhaney, or as he's known now as Rob Mack, who's on It's Always Sunny, creator with Glenn Howerton.
So I know tangentially of Mystic Quest, but I've never seen an episode, and I had to double check to make sure that this wasn't like a weird crossover thing, because I knew that somebody from Always Sunny was on that.
I liked Mystic Quest. I think a lot of people didn't like the last season, but I was fine with the whole show. The first season's really great, and too. Then I think they kind of, I don't know. Anyways, we're not talking about Mystic Quest, Steve, yet. The tech bro with the bad hair plugs, played by Danny Pudi, warns that alcohol will take years off his life, but Homer figures that it's just the crap years at the end. And it's one of my favorite quotes. The health-conscious wealth accumulator who goes by Johnson Bryan tells Homer that everyone there is dedicated to radical life extension, saying that the pseudoscience is on the verge of solving the lifelong problem of aging. And Marge wonders if this will mean that her kids will stay kids forever. Is that an inside joke about how they don't grow up?
A little bit, yeah. I didn't think about that, but that's smart.
But Johnson explains that they will simply live longer, healthier lives, which disappoints Marge. And I've heard too, like, that they are, like, this is true, that maybe our generation, or like the generation, like the Gen Alphas or Gen Zers, like, will be able to live super long lives and not reverse the aging process, but slow it down.
As I learned from the documentary Parks and Recreation, the person who's going to live to 150 years has already been born. So yeah, we're getting there. And I feel like this is a motivation of a lot of rich people because they have no more stuff to acquire. So they just want endless life, like a supervillain.
I mean, does that appeal to you? I know we joke about like, if it just ended tomorrow, who cares?
Yeah.
But there's something about just like, let's put politics aside, but like seeing the progress of mankind just fascinates me. Like, I want to see like what this planet looks like 200 years from now, like, do we get to Star Trek times? Do we have warp speed? Do we have spaceships like that? Like, I want to see if that ever comes true.
That would be very exciting. I still want my damn flying car, so...
I prefer the transporter over a flying car.
I mean, it is more efficient and environmentally sound.
I'm talking about like Star Trek technology. I want the holodeck because it would never leave.
Yeah, of course, because you can watch baseball or have sex.
Oh, yeah, baseball. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
So Johnson Bryan then describes the various longevous syrups and plutoceuticals that will be enjoyed over the weekend. So Homer takes a sip of one of the concoctions, saying it doesn't taste anything like purple. So Johnson shares the potential benefits of the drink, while Lisa tries to find benefits of her own.
That's olive oil and river clay. It'll do wonders for your left testicle.
Whoa. Speaking of life expectancy, did you know that graduates of private universities live longer than their state college peers, especially if they've gotten full scholarships?
Sorry, I only listen to podcasts. Could you talk at 2.5 times speed?
Sure. My name is Lisa Simpson, and an investment in me is an investment in...
2.7.
A more equitable, greener future.
Pause and delete. Play Sam Harris.
Oh.
I can't wait to find out how they screwed up the omelet bar.
What do you want as your base? Goat placenta or lab-grown goat placenta?
Half and half.
Homie, I know this life extension stuff is a little wackadoodle, but if it worked, you and I could have more time together than I ever dreamed of.
Do you want lab-grown or...
I gotta go lab-grown. That's how I like my placenta.
So I love the bit with I listen to podcasts at 2.5 speed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What speed is your podcast settings on?
Okay, so podcasts I listen to in real time, but not with Bill Maher. However, if I'm listening to an audiobook, I do tend to go 1.5 speed.
That's funny. I think because I use Apple Podcasts. Sorry, Spotify listeners. It's just that's the way they invented the podcast, so I got to listen through that. I usually use the 1.3 setting, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it down to 1.0 just for my Monday podcast listening. And it just seemed like everyone was just taking their time now.
Mm-hmm.
What about like music? Do you listen to that like at 2.4?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, it's more efficient that way.
Can you? I don't use the Apple Music, but like, is that an option? You can speed up songs.
I don't think it is. Double check.
I mean, it's a good check. Real quick.
Yeah. No, you can't. You can do a karaoke mode where it turns down the audio, which is fun. But
oh, really?
Yeah. It turns on the vocals, so you can sing along if you want.
Cool. I'm gonna do that later with the Simpsons theme song.
Nice. The Simpsons. And just wait. Wait for 3 minutes.
It's like all those assholes who thought they were funny when they put tequila on at the karaoke back when it was a karaoke jockey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just have to say tequila. Cool. You're funny.
Are you going to do the Pee-wee dance too?
No, they didn't even do that.
Come on. You're in a bar. Do it.
Dumb hipsters with their stupid tight pants and mustaches. And these were the women I'm talking about.
West Portland.
So Marge then envisions the near future where she and Homer are walking to the park celebrating his 53rd birthday. And the animation of them, they look like they're supposed to be older, but like to me, it looks like they're supposed to be in like their 70s.
Right.
53. She tells Homer that the past 15 years have been an unexpected miracle. They hug sweetly, and then Homer climbs into his grave where the tombstone reads he was born 53 years ago and died today. What is this Marge fantasy?
I feel like the idea that she's just walking him towards his death and with a very inefficient tombstone.
She doesn't remember his birth date. Yeah. It's a very weird dream sequence that she's having.
But it does keep up with the fact that there's a dream sequence or a fantasy in nearly every episode, so it's fun. So after listening to Marge, Homer goes to Johnson, calling him hair plugs. As a bald man, I think it's a slick move for a bald guy to call a guy with hair plugs. Asking him to board the longevity train. It all begins with a blood test, and Johnson tells Homer that before he knows it, he'll have the sex drive of an 18-year-old. And Homer is reluctant to have to deal with that once again. And Homer, I feel you, brother.
Remember when you're like 18, like, I just want to have sex all the damn time. And then once you get to,
19.
Meanwhile, Peter recalls to Frink his recent issue of fitting his giant yacht through an Egyptian waterway, calling the Suez problem a U.S. problem. Peter then expresses how glad he is that John Frink is in attendance at the reunion. So to verify this, Frink puts on a pair of glasses, which display a smiling emoji over Peter's head, confirming his positive feelings. Since he isn't always so good at reading emotions, Frink invented these glasses to do it for him. So as he learns from his invention, Peter is impressed.
Peter is indeed impressed, seeing how those glasses could really help, the neurodivergent community. I hear ya. And then he points out that they could also be really effective in business negotiations, knowing what those poor, unsuspecting bastards on the other side of the table are thinking. So Peter's smiling emoji turns into a horned demon with dollar signs for eyes. Frink assumes it's a flaw in his technology and innocently allows his college buddy to take a look at the specs.
And then on deck of the mansion, Homer receives the results of his blood test, which amazed both him and the health-minded techies.
The blood tests we ran, somehow you had the biomarkers of a 26-year-old.
Him?
He looks 60.
He smells 80.
But he must know something we don't. Tell us your secrets. Give us the keys to eternal life.
The journey begins, as all journeys do, with beer.
And I now own every beer in this country.
And beam up some Doritos, too, or you're all dead by midnight.
I really like the tech bros just saying that Homer looks 60 and smells 80.
Yeah, I could do without the Doritos, though, Steve.
That's fair, yeah.
Although, I will say, I went to a restaurant recently, and on their menu, which you don't see this much, is they had a list of baked potato options. I'm that's just kind of cool. I like this idea. And one was a taco potato. And so I ordered it, and they just crushed the nacho cheese Doritos on. And I'm okay, never mind. This tastes like Taco Bell potato. And I enjoyed it a lot.
That does sound actually really good.
Yeah. Oh, I want a potato now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Steve, I texted you after that picture, and I was look, so many food carts. That's the way to go. We're coming into a recession. We got to go back to those old days where people are just getting cheaper food from vendors or off the food carts because they can't afford much. So the potato, it's nature's testicle. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I want it in my mouth, so maybe it is.
But we'll steal that idea. We'll make brisket potatoes and taco potatoes and spaghetti potatoes. I don't know.
The endless are possibilities. The possibilities are endless.
General Sal potato.
Yeah.
You name one.
Potato vindaloo.
That's gross, Steve.
That's okay. French fried baked potato.
That's stupid. Go to hell.
Okay, fine. Peter praises Frink on his emotion reading invention, coyly asking if the patent has been filed. When the professor says that it hasn't, Peter remarks that it's just like Frink. Bart confronts Frink, reminding him that Peter stole his Susan idea and made millions. Frink humbly replies that making money is for businessmen, but he and Bart, they're scientists. But Bart thinks that Professor Frink should be a mad scientist.
So Bart feels that Frink should be more upset. But, the professor reminds him that his anger is simply a spike in brain chemicals. And after a stern look from Bart, Frink considers that Peter never even thanked him for his success, nor did he share any of his ludicrous wealth, which are glaven and rise in his own brain chemicals. Frink gets fucking pissed off.
Well, that makes the old Glaven perfect right up, doesn't it? He took advantage of me.
That's it, Professor. You're losing it.
Now, what do I do with this rage?
Meh, nothing. It's just how you're supposed to feel.
But why? Now my whole life just feels like a cruel joke.
At least you're done being a wimp.
Wimp? All this from the boy who calls himself dumb, so he never has to try.
What?
You're afraid that if people knew that you were smart, then you'd actually have to apply yourself, and you might fail. So it's much safer to call yourself dumb.
How could you say that? I am dumb.
Bad news, kid, you're smart. And that's all you'll ever be.
Yeah, I think we neglected to mention that in the beginning of the episode, Bart was telling Frink that he's dumb, and Frink didn't want to hear the D word from him.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this through line that he's like, no, I'm dumb. Trust me, I'm dumb. And I love this exchange that Frink and Bart have. No, Bart, you're not dumb. And we've always talked about on the podcast, and even the Simpsons episodes have kind of coyed around with that idea that Bart isn't stupid at all. Like the only really dumb person in the household is Homer. And it's because of a crayon.
Right, because, Bart's, played guitar, he's played the drums, he's played the saxophone, all of his elaborate pranks, he's Bart the genius. And I think it's just a matter of him being interested in the things that he's studying. And so, yeah, I think that this dynamic is really cool because I also like how humble Frink is, and it's just all about the progress of mankind and using his brains for invention and innovation rather than to get rich. And so I like that their whole story is a really fun dynamic, and I think it really works well. So the help-minded tech jet set follows Homer's lead, but as they wallow in their drunken stupor, Johnson wonders if shotgunning Duff and watching the Godzilla channel is the path to immortality. So Homer, with his vial in hand, argues that his 26-year-old blood is proof that his way of life is the correct one, arguing that the pain they're feeling is just age leaving their bodies.
And Johnson attempts to swallow some supplemental pills, but Homer slaps him away, reminding him that no vitamins are allowed, calling him a scarecrow vampire. And Johnson informs his new life guru that they aren't vitamins, but instead double cheeseburgers in pill form. So with them, he could never maintain Homer's impressive eating prowess. Then Homer forces a real burger into Johnson's mouth and creepily rubbing it down his throat.
The visuals on that is just really gross.
Also, I would never have a cheeseburger in pill form. That's sacrilege. I want the cheeseburger.
Exactly. Give me that cheeseburger. Give me 2.
And that was a quarter pounder cheese from McDonald's. I know it's a crusty burger, but it looked pretty good for cartoon food.
Yeah, I love a cartoon cheeseburger. They always look so good. So outside of the mansion, Bart mutters to himself in Frink speak, complaining about the professor. Peter notices this, but Bart calmly says that he does this nearly every week, showing off that he repeatedly wrote in the sand, "I will not forget Frink stinks," much like he would on, I don't know, say, a chalkboard.
Although it would be funny if Bart's yeah, I used to do this a lot, but because of ads, I don't really do it anymore.
Oh, that's so much better, Craig. That's a great joke.
I think it's a little too inside baseball.
Which is where you want to be if you're playing a game.
Peter suggests that for Bart to feel better, he should make Frink feel worse. He then misquotes the Buddha saying, "It's impossible to be happy if other people are." And Bart points his stick to the sand where he has scrawled out several lines that says, "I'm listening."
Who does he think he is, Dr. Fraser Crane?
For God's sake, Stephen.
Sideshow Bob. So Peter asks that Bart steal the schematics to the emoji glasses, allowing both of them to have their revenge. Bart comments that tech moguls really are the psychopaths that people think that they are, and he's on board to join them.
Homer continues his lesson on mindful eating, saying that before one eats, they should loudly exclaim, "Don't mind if I do," as Lisa rolls her eyes. Homer tells his pupils that modern food packaging is designed to tell you precisely what is going into your body. For instance, claw marks on the logo, icicles on the lettering, and lightning bolts on the wrapper are signs that you are in for a treat. So Johnson equates the lightning bolts to being sexually active when you reach 1,000 years old, and that is enough for Lisa to speak the fuck up.
Oh, come on! Are you all so terrified of growing old that you'll desperately cling to any guru who promises you 5 more minutes on Earth?
But his blood was tested by our top medical Imagineer, Dr. Incomparable Fabulous, and it said he's 26.
Obviously, the blood you tested wasn't my dad's.
I tried to get blood, but none would come out, so I used Bart's.
You hear that? My 10-year-old brother is biologically 26. Welcome to the Simpsons lifestyle. Prepare to die.
Yardley's acting, and that seems so good.
I love it, yeah.
And what was the professor's name that Johnson was their doctor?
It's Imaginarium of Fantastic. Yeah, really good. So hearing the truth, the tech billionaires spit out their beer and junk food and inject themselves with baby tears before hopping on treadmills to lose their newfound weight. It's good that they're only doing that with babies. The tears.
On that island?
Exactly. Lisa shouts that despite their foolishness, it would be really wonderful if, any of them would like to pay for her college.
And Bart draws the technical schematics for the emoji glasses and gives them to Peter. Meanwhile, Johnson tries to outrun death but falls off the treadmill and slams into the Komodo dragon display, breaking the glass and liberating the reptile. So the beast inches closer to Bart as he calls for help.
So, hearing this, Frink puts on Gandalf's gear and leaps into action, shouting, "You shall not have him, vile dragon," as though he was back as his wizard persona, Mesagrius the Bold. So Frink tries an artful parry and a freezing spell before Bart reminds him that magic doesn't work in reality. Frink tells him to zip it and allow the fantasy sequence. So the Komodo dragon is knocked out, and Bart is safe.
John Frink leaves no companion behind, especially when they're friends.
There's something I need to show you, but you're not gonna like it.
Well, it's my emoji glasses, with enough detail to produce an exact copy. You made this, Bart?
I was gonna give it to Peter because I was mad at you. My brain chemicals were spiking like crazy. I'm sorry.
Bart, you produced this schematic entirely from memory? Do you know what this means? This is conclusive, irrefutable proof that you are smart!
Oh, my son is a science boy!
So you're really not mad?
Well, see for yourself.
3 lions?
It's pride, genius!
It certainly is.
Marge, how proud she is. Yeah. And then Lisa at the end, too, like, it's pride genius. Oh, man, so good. I mean, I kind of saw this ending, at the beginning, of course, I saw the Komodo dragon, the Gandalf thing.
Of course.
Nice that it came back. Yeah, so Professor Frink considers just how valuable those glasses are and that he should just donate them to his alma mater in exchange for a scholarship for his incredibly smart assistant. And, of course, Lisa really pissed off at that. That's so good.
Yes. So the Simpsons make their way home, but before we go, let's hear a little bit more from that majestic Komodo dragon.
The Simpsons are leaving the beautiful nation of...
Oh, I wish I could have seen more of many historical sites and natural wonders.
At least I'm bringing home a souvenir from...
Well, I'm just glad to get the out of New Zealand. What? I never signed the NDA.
I send you greetings from the Komodo dragon species. For millennia, we have attempted to communicate our message of peace through the language of dance, an effort that proved futile due to our splayed, inflexible hips, which, unlike those of your South American chanteuse Shakira, do nothing but lie. Now at last we can share with you our poetry, our medical breakthroughs, and our deep understanding of the mathematics that underlie reality. But first, are you going to eat that boy? Because if you're not, I would sure like to. Or we could split him. How do you say? Splitsies? Yummy, yummy boy.
Real good stuff. Like Shakira.
And the Komodo dragon at the end wanting to eat Bart.
Yeah, it's fun that the Komodo dragon is sentient and wants to eat Bart.
He wants to eat Bart's shorts. Do you like the bit, though, with the... They were in New Zealand this whole time, and then, like, the Lord of the Rings music plays.
Which explains where they got the Gandalf suit.
Yep. I mean, we were really hoping it was Epstein Island.
I don't know. I've never been to New Zealand. Who says that it isn't?
What if that's the whole... Yeah, oh my God, New Zealand is Epstein's Island?
That's my takeaway from this whole episode. My sister-in-law lives in New Zealand. Why? Wow. Well, I've got a lot to think about.
You really do.
And so while I think about that, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Let's finish up our discussion of Bart and Fink. We'll talk about, what made us laugh, what made us cry, what we thought about the episode in general, and what we're watching next week. But before we do that, we like to give each other a little gift we think the other host might enjoy, and this week is no different. So for you, Craig, I got you a couple different things from this episode that I think you're just right up your alley and that you may want or need. So I got you some of those mini watermelons so you can enjoy. I got you a self-replicating 3D printer so you can print all that you might need. I got you a beverage made of olive oil and river clay for, your left testicle. You know what that's about. And, of course, I got you Star Trek, the role-playing game, which actually exists in life and has been going from 1982 to 1989. It's the OG series by Modifus US, and so you can be Hulu or Sulu, You could be Sulu, or Kirk, or McCoy, or whoever you like. So there you are, Craig.
You said it went from 82 to 89, so it doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, things exist when they stop making them. Like, but yeah, there's also a TNG version as well. So
I'd rather have the TNG. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my jam. Do they have a DS9? Then that's really my jam.
I'm not seeing a DS9.
Well, bastards then. Yeah, I think there is. I know there is like a lot of like Star Trek RPGs that I'd probably want to play, but I just don't have friends. So
I'm sure you're not the first Star Trek fan to have that issue.
What's sadder, Simpsons fans or Star Trek fans? So we'll answer that in a different podcast. Simpsons, of course not. They're all cool fans. But I feel like, Simpsons and Star Trek fans should be in the same boat. Look, those are all wonderful gifts, and I always get you shit, so sorry. But you wanted the games, so I thought, what's more fun than the game of insurance? Ooh. And, of course, I'm getting you Gentrifiers of Catan because you said you wanted it.
Nice.
And it comes along with a 1,000-page book rule, so you have to learn. Yeah. Also, I didn't go for the obvious, and I'm not getting you hair plugs, so don't worry about that.
Thank you.
But I did get you a flight to an island that I'm pretty sure you've been to before, but I'm not going to say what island it is, and it could be New Zealand.
All right.
And you are a neurodivergent, possibly. So you need those Frink emotion glasses.
100%. As you can see, as I'm wearing them, or if you put them on, you can see that I'm happy about that. So thank you, Craig.
All I see when I'm looking at you is eggplant emoji and a peach emoji.
Yep, I love fruits and vegetables, especially in my ass.
Steve, you have the virileness of an 18-year-old. Sorry.
And the blood of a 26-year-old in a jar.
One last gift, and that is you need to impress some rich people. So you get a pair of purple shorts and a light blue polo, just like Bart has.
I love it. Now, I don't need to put on my emotion glasses to know what made you laugh, because you can just tell me. So, Craig, what made you laugh in this episode?
So much of this episode, I think, was hilarious. So the beginning, just Bart and Lisa, sad that it's not like a video game store, and it's just like a board game store. Although Lisa knew it was a board game store. I love that interaction. I love just Bart's tenacity of like killing the Frink character, and then Marge coming over and trying to explain to that Bart's sorry, even though she doesn't know what's going on. Like that kind of like classic Marge, like, you seem too old to be doing this sort of thing. And like the judgy Marge that we like. And then I think Glenn Howerton is so good as Peter. Watching the episode is one thing, but like when we listen to the clips and you hear it on a podcast, like just how well he acts in animated form. It's like, and knowing someone like you watch him all the time, and like It's Always Sunny, like you could see him acting this character out, and I think that's great. And Danny Pudi as well, another great performance. And nice that like the Danny Pudi character doesn't look like Danny Pudi, how like sometimes they animate how they look. I think that's great. Frink is a character that he's a one-note character, and in this episode, like, I think gave him such a more well-rounded character. And like, I remember one episode we reviewed in the beginning of this podcast was like Love to the N02, and that was like a Frink episode, and I know we didn't really care for it that much, but this one like made me like Frink. And I said it in the beginning that Lisa, all of Lisa's like jabs and like her frustration and the acting, so funny and so good. Yearly as Lisa, she gets the MVJ for me. Lisa is my favorite character, I think, in this episode, even though it's Bart and Frink are really great in it as well. But yeah, just a lot of fun. How about you?
The Bart Frink dynamic I loved because I like that they're, they should be almost enemies, but they work well together. And I like the like you mentioned, the depth of Frink as a character was really interesting. I loved the fact that everybody in the episode kind of had their own self-interest at heart, even if it was like morally okay. Like Lisa was a lot of fun because she just wanted like somebody to pay for her college. Marge was like not understanding what Bart's whole deal was, and then just excited that he was a real Bill Nye science guy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give my MVJ to Homer just because I like his interaction with Danny Pudi, was a great character, and I also, as you mentioned, Glenn Howerton was so good as Peter. But Homer, I really like that dynamic, and also him and Lisa, their whole thing together was a lot of fun. But everybody had a great performance. This is a really fun episode. What are your general thoughts?
I think it's safe to say that this is probably one of my favorite episodes of the season. I know we're only, 6 episodes in now? But this episode, I almost think I liked it better than the one with Albert Brooks, Men Behaving Manly. I think it's because I kind of went into maybe having low expectations. Because like when you read the plot on the internet, like, okay, this just sounds kind of goofy. But they took a lot of time to just craft out the story, craft out the jokes, have emotional resonance. Like, I love it when like Frink and just is telling Bart, like, you're not dumb. Like, there's something so cathartic or just beautiful about that scene of like, especially like to tell like kids who you say, like in our day, they would call them troubled kids, but it's just because they were probably most likely smarter than all the other kids because everything that they're being taught is just so boring to them. And Bart's been like that. And we've known he's a smart character. So having the whole episode just pointing out like, yes, you're smart, Bart, stop this. And I love that exchange at the end with Frink essentially saying to Bart, like, you matter and you're smart and don't demean yourself, that type of thing. So well done. If I give it a ranking, Steve, of course, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons at the beginning, and the character, of course, dies, Frink's character. And I was wondering what the highest level your character could reach, like number-wise, and apparently it's 20 is the highest level you reach. So out of 20, I'm going to give this episode a 6, 7. No, I'm not going to do that joke anymore. Sorry. We probably have teachers listen to this podcast. I apologize for saying that. No, I'll give this episode a 20. I think this is a great episode. How about you?
It's kind of funny approaching the season so far because they go to man camp and they go to Tech Bro Island and you think, oh, this isn't going to be great. But then, it's a completely different story and it really is. And I think after last week's episode where we had, Homer just treating Bart like shit, it's cool to see Frink like really accept him and encourage him to like use his brain and celebrate the smartness that is already there. I think the emotional impact of this episode is pretty powerful. I think that I love the flashback when Frink was in college with the like Wozniak garage complex and like the fact that they threw in a Sadgasm poster. And I just love the way that everybody interacted with each other. I think they captured the tech industry really well. It was also really dynamically written, like the way that in the beginning we had Frink as a wizard fighting a dragon, and in the end that's how it wrapped up too. I think that's really smart. Just all around a really good time at the TV. And they talk a lot about Susan, who eventually would become Siri, and the Siri was released on the 4S model of the iPhone. So from 4S to the modern 17, I'm going to give this a 16 plus, which is just as good as a 17, but a little less expensive.
Each character kind of had like great moments in it, and they weren't just relegated to like a little background joke. Like Marge was so ecstatic, like the acting that Julie does at the end when she finds out that Frink tells her that Bart's a genius. And again, Lisa is so good at Homer, like you said. Sadly, of course, there was no Maggie, but what's she going to do, right?
Right. No, I do. You make a really good point, though, because I do think that every character is really well utilized and gets their moment in the sun. So, yeah.
And I like how like everyone got to go to the island to have this adventure where I feel like they could have just had it just be Bart and there could have been like a really kind of like less than B story. But the fact that everyone kind of had a reason and they had something to say in this episode, too, socially.
Right.
About tech bros and good job reviewing it.
And you as well. And good job, The Simpsons, for keeping on with season 37, which they're doing yet again next week with episode 7. Now, Craig, what do you think the title of that episode is?
Well, Steve, of course, this episode is called Bart and Frink, which is a parody title to the film Barton Frink. And we know that was a Joel and Ethan Coen film, but I don't think they're going to parody a Joel and Ethan Coen story. I think it's gonna be a story. It's a different parody of a movie, like they do. But Bart and Frink, that's what I'm trying to get to. Starred, of course, the wonderful John Turturro, and John Turturro, of course, in a lot of great movies and TV shows, particularly one very popular show these days, Severance. So I think the title of this next episode is going to be called Severance.
Ooh, I do like that, and I would love to watch that. But sadly, no, that is not the title because next week's title is Sashes to Sashes. Now, Craig, what do you think that's about?
Well, I think that's a play on the term ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Fuck you, Elon Musk.
Ooh, I like that, yeah. I think it's ashes to ashes, ash to ashes. Oh my gosh, that lady has a nice bust.
You never go ash to ash.
That's right, except for on your birthday.
Right. Happy birthday. So sashes. So I think of sashes as the thing that you wear if you're a contestant for like a beauty pageant.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that Lisa's already been a beauty pageant queen. So I think this one's going to be about Marge. Marge always wanted to be in a beauty pageant. So there's like a new Miss Springfield beauty pageant, and she signs up, and then one of the judges yells at Marge for some reason, and all the other contestants, including Marge, start crying. They walk out because that judge was a real dickhead.
Oh, I like that. I would definitely watch that.
And Steve, did you not know the news about the Miss Universe contest?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm referencing pop culture. That happened like a week ago.
You're on top of things.
Yeah, get on the news. And then in the B story, Bart is in class. He's the new class president. It's just established.
Mm-hmm.
And all of his the people that help Bart in his fourth grade president campaign, they're making like a little press conference in the classroom, and one of his friends, let's say it's Lewis, accidentally passes out, and then Bart looks, and he doesn't really care.
And then Martin just runs off.
Yeah, Martin just runs out of frame, and then later they go to a football game, and it's broadcast on TV, and Bart is broadcast on the jumbotron, but then everyone stands boos him, and he feels sad.
And he goes to make a declaration and says, "I hereby your name here," and he says your name here instead of his actual name because he's a fucking idiot.
And Millhouse finally reopens the school government.
Oh, because he bent the knee and acted like a pussy. Anyway, that's all wrong. I mean, so many things about that are wrong. Not just things that you said, but things that are happening in the world. But in this one, actually, you're kind of right. Bart runs against Mayor Quimby's son for student council president, while Lisa learns troubling secrets about the Quimby clan and about the Simpsons.
Wow, I'm excited.
Me too. I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to hear you hear it, listeners, because we love it when you listen, and we love it when you communicate with us, like going to your socials, like YouTube or, Instagram at 13simpsons, or you can always email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/AnnoyedGruntBoys. $5 a month. You get a bonus episode every week. And even this episode always drops a little bit earlier than the usual drop date. So you can listen to us before you listen to the Office Ladies or Ladies Office.
Exactly. And we hope that you appreciate that. And if you do, let us know. Or if you don't, let us know by leaving us a review. Go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent. But actually, hey, don't write an actual review. Just tell us your secret to living forever.
And check out tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoys for some Annoyed Grunt Boy merch. Hopefully they'll be created by Homer Groening's cum t-shirts. I don't know if they will. Are you allowed to use the C word cum on TeePublic? Probably not.
There are much worse things on TeePublic.
Like our store.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for listening. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, it's impossible to be happy if other people are.
I need to fill the porcelain chalice.
Welcome to the Simpsons lifestyle. Prepare to die.